Welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, click the button and subscribe, and we'll give you video reviews about board games, and we'll tell you if you should buy them, play them, or hate them, and if they're underrated.
All right, so what we've done is we've taken 5 games apiece. And we've chosen our most underrated games of today's date.
So these are games you should check out that probably didn't get as much love as we think they should have.
Exactly. Everyone should own these games. That's at least my opinion when it comes to my 5. I'm not sure about Jimmy's.
All right, so let's get it started. Let's talk about your number 1 or 5. I guess this is 5 going down to 1. Underrated.
Number 5, Bonk.
Bonk.
So Bonk is a dexterity game. Came out last year, right?
I think so.
Christmas time. Fantastic game. You can pick it up at Target. Of course, you can go online, whatever. But fun game. 4 people, 2 to 4 people. Dexterity. You're trying to get that ball and block him from going in.
Rolls down that
exactly.
thing.
Very, very fun. Very entertaining. Old school. Felt like when I was a kid under the Christmas tree, the big box and all.
What is it?
It is fun. A lot of fun.
I totally agree. We talk about this all the time about how it's like a family get-together game, kind of like you would bring the yard games. This could be another one you could have set up on a table and play for all those get-togethers.
And it's so well made and everything. It just reminds me of the old days, I guess.
Yeah, because you could pass, as long as you take care of it, you could pass this down to your grandkids one day.
Fantastic.
Okay, for me, my first game that I want to talk about is called Black Fleet. Now, this is a pirate game that I saw at Gen Con one year. I was walking by the Asmodee booth or whoever makes it, and it was out on the table, and it was huge, and it was gorgeous. These cool little miniatures where you put these cubes in it, and you're going across the ocean trying to do these deliveries. It's a pick up and deliver game with abilities that kind of unlock as the game goes on. The end game is triggered once somebody has got all 5 of these cards done, but every time you flip a card you get a new ability that lets you break the rule. You can go further, you can go across land, you can do different things, whatever that is that you can do. And so what I liked about it is as the game progresses you get to do more and more. So the end of the game is like you play this card, I got this ability, I can do that. And so it just feels like as the game goes on, like you're able to do a lot more. Components are incredible. Metal coins, nice miniatures, the cubes you put in it, the board is gorgeous, panoramic artwork on the cards. It's really, really good, and not many people talk about it.
Fantastic. All right, so my number 4 game is a favorite of all of ours, at least of the gaming guys I'm with and gals. Spartacus. Gale Force 9, this game, I can remember being at Gen Con.
Good job.
The guy who was showing us how to play was super into it. And ever since then, it comes out for every one of our mini conventions, anything like that. It gets pulled out. It is a very, very fun game. It is an adult game. There are some things in there that the kids obviously shouldn't see. But the game itself is a blast.
It really, really is. Yeah, there's just some language on the cards that are, just family-friendly warning there.
Exactly.
But the gameplay is so good because you're just bartering, you're talking back and forth with people, backstabbing people, that can happen.
It is so much fun because it has a little bit of everything going on. You got a little bit of gambling going on and stuff. And it is a very, very fun game.
Yep, all around. I think it's great. Okay, for me, my number 4 is a game called Celestia. This is a push your luck game where you are trying to go from one level of the clouds to the next, and you're trying to go up these levels. I brought this game out recently. We went away, got out of town for a few days, went to a cabin, and I played this game with my son, who's 7 years old. I played this with my wife's aunt, who has only played like traditional style board games. And she instantly took to it. My son took to it. My father-in-law took to it. It is just a fun game where the premise is each person takes a turn being the captain, and you roll these dice, and whatever results come up, the captain has to play cards from his hand. And you are guessing whether or not you think the captain can pay those cards. If you think he can, then you stay in the boat and you try to go on to the next level. If you don't, then you bail out and you take a card from that level. Anyways, and so it's just this great pressure luck game of trying to see if they have the cards. You keep going on, and when you get to the top level, the 9th level, I think it is, where you get 25 points, like everybody cheers and screams, and it's a lot of, I mean, it's not that crazy, but it's just a fun little family game. Push your luck. It's awesome.
Great. Okay, so my number 3 is Warfighter, the World War II version. It is so going from just straight from the components themselves are fantastic. The cards, each one has pictures representing whatever, but it shows you actual photographs from World War II. The game plays, you're basically playing down, what would you call it? It's just basically deck by deck that you're moving down and you're building your characters up. It is a solitaire game, but yet you can play it multiplayer. It is I feel it's a very, very unique. It was when it came out, very, very unique. Now a lot of the games are using it, but it is a fantastic game. Great components. I just can't say enough about it. Warfighter.
Yeah, if you love this theme, and then you can play this solo too, right? Yeah, and so it's got the theme, it's got the solo play,
Sure.
and just the mechanism in the game of going forward as you progress is just a solid mechanism.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, my number 3 underrated game is a game called Gaia Project. Now, I just recently got to play this one. This is the spiritual successor to Terra Mystica. It's a heavy Euro-style game, and the reason I say it's underrated is because you just don't hear about it very much. It's a game that the people that love this style, that love Terra Mystica, they say great things about it, but I just don't. It was a big deal when it was coming out, and everybody's like, hey, Gaia Project, it's going to be awesome, and then it came out, and then
Silence.
And we played it the other day, and I was like, yes, this is great. The theme is great. The mechanisms work in it. The upgrading, all of that stuff is really good. And so I hate that it's just not talked about enough. Heavy Euro, if you like it, get Gaia Project.
All right. So my number 2 is XCOM, the board game by Fantasy Flight. This game, again, great components. Great license. I mean, that license with the aliens and everything, you're trying to build up your military and the aliens are attacking and they're different types of aliens, and the game itself is up to 4-player, and then also you have an app for it that basically it plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's very time oriented, so it's trying to rush you. Each person has a different job, so nobody's doing the same thing. There's not enough time in the game for somebody to try to take over the game.
Right.
So in other words, how you have some of those alpha gamers, Tim, but that will try to go out there and take everybody's role. There's not enough time to do that. You only have enough time to take care of yourself. And what you do affects all the other players. So it is a very, very fun game, very entertaining. The theme's fantastic. The app makes you feel like it just adds more to the theme. It's a fantastic game. XCOM, can't say enough about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's fun. Like what you said, you're able to pause in between turns, so it's not like this 10-minute game and then it's over, but you play around and then you stop.
Yeah.
And so then you can talk and assess and see if you did it right, and then it's okay, it's on again, and then it's kind of, and it's not like if you're not into frantic games, don't get the feeling like it's just go, but there is enough of the speed tension in it to make you feel like you're not going to spend an hour making a decision. Basically, you're just like, okay, I need to do this, okay, I need to do that, and then at the end you try to figure out if that was good or bad.
Yeah, it's very, very fun, entertaining.
Okay, the next game that I want to talk about as underrated is a newer game that came out by Renegade Games called Castel. Now, I did a review of this, and I just feel like this is a game that did not get... It came out, and there was some talk about it, but I feel like if people could play this game, they would realize, especially if you're into Euro-style games, that this is just a really solid game. The basic idea is that you are a casteller, or a human tower builder, and so these people that climb on shoulders and you build these towers, and you're moving around this board going from location to location, and you're trying to match up the castellers, you're trying to match up the region that you're going to, you're trying to match up the abilities that you can do. Also you can score points over all these rounds, and it is very deceptive, and when you look at the board, it looks very simple, but in the gameplay, you're like, okay, I want to do 10 things and I can't do all of those, so how am I going to do these few things? And there are enough points that you can earn as the game goes along that when it comes to the end, it's just very satisfying. And so this is a game that I don't hear many people talking about, and I really think you should check it out. So Castel.
Great. All right, so my number 1 game, all of them are fantastic. This one right here, to me, is definitely number 1. It is Fortune and Glory.
Fortune and Glory!
Now, Fortune and Glory has everything, Anthony, you can think of. And what I mean by that is it's a it needs to have. It doesn't have to have it because it's such a great game. But Indiana Jones is what it is basically.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Nazis, you've got gangsters, you've got Yetis, you've got everything in the game. Blimps, and you're traveling across the whole world. You have temples and swords and masks and everything that you're trying to get. It is such a fun game, and the mechanism that they use for the game, where you're at certain points, you're literally at a cliffhanger, and then it stops. You can't do anything. And it goes on to the other players. It comes back around, so you have to wait a full turn to get back to you. And it's like, what am I going to do? Exactly. And it does the serial, the old serial stories so well. It is fantastic, and it's never the same because of the mechanism that they use. It is a very, very entertaining game. I can't say enough about it.
Yes.
I think the true gamers, guys who are at the Gen Cons and all this stuff, they know about the game, but there's so many other of these people who never get to make it to those conventions and stuff that don't know about this game. It is a fantastic game. Get out there, buy it, you'll love it.
I totally agree. Everything he just said. We gotta play it again. Actually.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to play it some more.
Sound it to ourselves.
Okay, so my number one underrated game, and I apologize because I think this might be hard to find, but I just got to bring it up. That way, if you saw it one day and what I'm about to say interests you, you'll grab it. Okay, it's called The Adventurers. This is not a heavy Euro. This is not a medium weight game. This is a light, fast-paced kind of, I don't know, it's just fun. It is just lighthearted. The basic premise in both of these games, the first one kind of like Fortune and Glory, is Indiana Jones.
Right.
And you're trying to get out of this temple, and there's literally the ball from Indiana Jones, the boulder that's coming down, and you're trying to stay ahead of it. You're trying to figure out these puzzles. You're going across a rickety bridge, and you might fall into the water. You're picking up treasure as you go along. It's that kind of a feel. The second game, The Adventurers, the Temple of Shock, is you're going into this pyramid. You're trying to dig through all this stuff, get out all the artifacts that you can. The whole while you might get stung by a scorpion, bit by an alligator, and then you're trying to get up these artifacts and get out before the roof collapses on you. Right. So it's definitely a push your luck game where you go in, see what you can get. But it has this really neat mechanism in the game, I think, where the more stuff that you get, the slower you move. Yep. You can't go as fast. And the way that they do that is you roll these dice. And I can't get into all of it, but basically the more stuff, the slower you go. And I just think it's really smart for such a lighthearted game. Can't recommend it enough.
Fantastic game. I totally agree.
Well, not totally, because it wasn't on your list.
I know, but I hope that you'd pick it.
So there we go. So tell us in the comments, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let us know what you think is an underrated game. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us if we're right. And then put in the comments what you think is an underrated game that more people need to check out.
All right. And be sure to visit your local gaming shop.
Woo! Gaming store, but
it takes the old timer time to change.
It's a shop.